Yeah, so there must have been a fairly strong gash there. Might have been a couple of gashes because that bandage, as you might be able to see through our camera, put together by Nathan Ryan, has done a brilliant job to set up our technical gear here. Yeah, he's just walking around with it now, Daniel, jumping up and down. I think he'll be okay. He's a tough customer, he's still got more tennis to play and some doubles later on. This PST3 final being delayed at 2 points so far. So it's love 30. Scrivano to serve. He's ready to go. Good job, well done by everyone involved. Luke Misson's got an early break against Joel Emmett in the PST4 final. Next door on court 4, which you can get on stream 1. So we're ready to go again. Let's see how that injury, the cut more than anything, looked like a severe cut, will affect Scrivano. Getting it back into play with the backhand. Backhand slice, second one from Perez, wasn't so good. First one was okay, it sort of floated in, and it's 15-30. Again, it'll be interesting how Perez has recovered from that long match yesterday. Scrivano had an easier time of it. We saw Brett Hillier. Then again, he's played less tennis than all these guys I've spoken about. Have a real battle, and when Alex Weber's playing like he is, it's always going to be hard work. That's a good serve. Tried to fend that away from the body. It was a body serve from Scrivano, and Perez was all tangled up. 30 all. First game of the PST3 final on court 5. Sun peeking through. Pleasant day. Much more pleasant than yesterday. Big serve by Scrivano. Virtually unreturnable by the Chilean. And it's now 40-30. Game point for Scrivano. The number 1 seed, so the top 2 seeds playing in this final. PST3. First ball misses, swinging serve into the backhand court. Scrivano again goes wide, and Perez can't control it. So he's won 4 points in a row after being down love 30, limping a little bit with that bandage. But that's a good start by Scrivano to come back, suffer the injury, and then regain his mojo and composure to win the opening game on serve. So Perez to serve now. He also served from this club room end. Don't really have to sit down, he's ready to go. Three love for Luke Misson, playing well against Joel Emmett in the PST4, predominantly categorising short-statured players. Great to watch. Luke Misson, the number 1 seed, spoke to him yesterday. Lovely man. They all are lovely to chat to. Here's Perez again, serving. Fending from the body, Scrivano gets it back short, and then Perez nets his forehand. The eyes lit up because that ball just got over the net, and he'd be disappointed with that, the Chilean. You wonder whether the break has affected him a bit, yet to win a point since the injury on Scrivano and had to have it taped up. Love 15. Second serve. That's a double fault. He mishit that. I reckon that was going to be off the frame of the racket. You can sort of hear it through the effects mic. First ball's a fault. Clip the tape. Perez down love 30. Scrivano on the forehand. Perez picks it up again. Goes deep. Scrivano does well. to get it off the baseline, and then good play by Perez to control and put the forehand away, remembering it's double bounce and PST3, but Scrivano not able to quite get there. It was a deep shot by Chilean. It was dug out cleverly right on the baseline by Scrivano. That put him on the back foot. Fold again by Perez. Second serve, Scrivano with a forehand. Perez with a flicking backhand. Scrivano with a forehand comes to the net. A chance now to get the lob to smash it away, and does. He was playing defensively from the corner then. Perez and Scrivano dictating terms. Has 2 break points. Perez has won 1 point since that injury delay. Forehand by Scrivano, backhand by Scrivano, middle of the court, and then the forehand is steered into the net by Perez. He started slowly in the semi-final yesterday, conceding the first 4 games. So Luke Misson leading 4-love. We'll update you on that game. Last 2 of the singles finals before we get into doubles. Lovely backhand by Scrivano, and then good attack by Perez forces Scrivano to go wide. He's going pretty deep, Perez, with some of his shots. Scrivano defending nicely, but not the last attempt. Love 15. Remembering he lost his first 2 points on serve before he fell over. Forehand by Perez, forehand Scrivano. Perez can get it on the second bounce, goes down the line. Scrivano, good work to get it back into play, and then you try to go cross court with the top spin. Perez and nets it 15-30. Scrivano starting to find some good form here, leading 2-love. Scrivano serves, deep serve. In fact, 2 deep. Double fault. Missed by a long way. And it's now 30 all. Remembering he has an early break. Daniel Scrivano, 2-love. Perez takes it on the forehand and completely miscues it. Took it close to the body, actually. Again, got himself a bit tangled up. We saw the way Alex Hunt played today, PST1. He would just run around on that forehand, give himself room and just whip it cross court. Constantly. Provided a huge number of winners. Return by Perez, and Scrivano had an open court going cross court, pushed it too wide, way too wide. And Perez has a break back point here to get on board early in this set. 10-minute break for an injury timeout for Scrivano. Serves to Perez, who's looking to whip it down the line on the forehand. May have pushed it too hard, and the break point save or a deuce. First ball finds the net from Scrivano. Second serve. Gets it on the second bounce. Perez and Scrivano not able to get much racket on that. Rolls limply under the net, and another break point for Perez, his second one in this game. A few Chileans playing in this tournament, which is wonderful. Marcelo Rios was one of the best players. I think I touched on that yesterday. Made an Australian Open back in 1998. Got well beaten. So in 2002 it was. Scrivano on the forehand, short. Forehand by Perez is magnificent. Set up for him. He likes that forehand on the left, and Scrivano was camped on the baseline. It gets broken. So back on serve again. He gets the break back, the Chilean, and he leads 2-1. Scrivano in the first set. PST3. So that was a better game by Perez, who may have been affected by that 10-minute delay. Won the first 2 points of the match, but he's fought back well. Quite a pleasant afternoon now. I think in parts of country Victoria it's in the low 30s, which is still pretty warm. I know last night around Williamstown, going for a bit of a drive, been up the street, and the beach was full just before it started to get dark, because the temperature was high 30s, but of course the sun was gone as it was starting to get dark. Quite pleasant to be there then. Perez forehand, and really went inside out then. But went a bit long. Love 15. Serves to the backhand court. Scrivano on the forehand. Perez flicks back on the backhand. Lands short. Scrivano with his forehand was flimsy and wide. 15 all. Trying to get it back even after breaking back Perez. He serves. Scrivano, lovely return, and Perez cramped up, flicks into the base of the net. 15-30. Scrivano again. Forehand by Scrivano from the Perez serve is too long. You can see a bit of a shake of the head, the way he serves Eduardo Perez, PST3. Good serve again. Scrivano went wide, and he's aiming for the lines but not having a lot of success, ending up in the tram lines, and a game point for Perez to make it 2-all. Perez again, down the middle. Scrivano gets it back. On the backhand, forehand Perez. Scrivano with his backhand, lobs it long, too long, and it's 2 games all. So Perez back in this after dropping the first 2 games, including a serve in the second game after there was a delay due to the injury when he fell on the court quite heavily, Scrivano, but had it taped up. The physio doing a magnificent job. Poking hesitantly into the net from the Scrivano service Perez, and Scrivano picks up the first point of the 5th game. Scrivano serving again, too long. Swinging serve goes wide. Second serve now to Perez. Predominantly blue, the Chilean colours, and he finds the net. He's also got that thick headband that we saw yesterday in his mighty comeback against Kishi of Japan, the number 3 seed. Here's Scrivano once more. Finds the net. It's changed this game a bit. It's 15 all after he won the first 2 games, Scrivano. Back to the injury timeout. And he's gone long again. The double fault's mounting from the American, the number 1 seed. 15-30. Serves again. Perez into the net. It was a good swinging serve, which just about caught the line from the left-hander. And he makes it 30-all. On the backhand, Perez put it down the line. Again, getting a bit caught up at times, playing it very close to the body. I wouldn't call them body serves, but it's just the way Perez is playing those shots, fending from the backhand. He gets this one back, as does Scrivano. Does a lot of scramble. Down the line goes Perez, plays it nicely. Scrivano can't get from one side of the court to the other to reel it in. And well played by Perez as he gets at the juice in this 5th game. 2 games all. Backhand Perez, top spin. Forehand Scrivano comes to the net. Perez gets it. He took it on the bounce. Allowed the second bounce then. Perez on the baseline, and then flicked it back with some top spin and put it over the line. Scrivano. Game point. Swinging serve. Perez down the middle, and Scrivano forces the backhand into the net errantly. Back to juice. 30-all in the final, the first set. PST final between Luke Misson and Joel Emmett. That's a beautiful return by Perez. Gets it on the second bounce. Scrivano. He gets it back again, middle of the court. Goes wide with a beautiful whipping forehand, Perez. The initial shot in that particular exchange was top spin. Remembering, it's 2 bounces if required for PST3 players. But it was still a beautiful high percentage shot that was bouncing away, but Scrivano got to it. Second serve, Perez with his forehand. Scrivano digs it out. Forehand cross court, Scrivano. Again a looping ball, Scrivano. Perez with his left-handed forehand again. Whips it cross court. Scrivano gets it back, looping long and wide. And Perez has broken again. He's won the last 3 games. Come from 2-love to 3-2. And he's battling a bit with that injury, Daniel Scrivano. As Luke Misson has won the first set against Joel Emmett, PST4. And Peter Whitty's coming down to speak to Daniel Scrivano. I'm not sure whether he's going to continue here. And Peter Whitty is going to have a chat, I think, to the match referee. He doesn't look great, Daniel Scrivano. He seemed to have a pep in his step when he came back from that injury time out. And then he was struggling. So there might be another injury time out here.
Oh, not this one, but I'm back to
No, he's going to keep going. Even though he is limping noticeably. The chair umpire. And this has gone for a toilet stop. He's about to make his way back. We think here he comes. Peter Whitty, he's okay. I just thought there might have been some concerns there. But no, Scrivano's getting ready again. He needs to fight his way back into the set. Well done, Luke Misson, winning the first set, 6-1, PST4. Just practicing some movements, particularly sliding Scrivano. You can see on the stream, great to have your company as well. Had a lot of interest yesterday, getting plenty of interest today. First serve from Perez misses as he looks to bank that break to make it 4-2 in the opening set for the number 2 seed against the number 1 seed Scrivano. Had a comfortable win yesterday in the semis. The American double fault by Perez. Love 15. Australia's always been a big tennis country. Perez serves. Forehand deep by Scrivano, just gets it back, Perez, allowing Scrivano to go on the second bounce as it landed in the service box, but he was very wild with his return. And it's 15 all. That was a very loose return, loose shot. Going cross court from Daniel Scrivano. The air is starting to mount for the American as Perez finds the net with his serve. Second serve again. And it hits the top of the net and lands out. So another double fault, 2 in this game for Perez. Keeping Scrivano in at the moment, and he's battling with his body and also with his shot selection. But Perez's serving not quite at the level he would like it to be in this PST3 final. It lands out as well. It's clipping the top of the tape a bit. Another double fault. In fact, the first one was a let. Thought it was a bit long, but it was a let. So second serve, first serve was with power, but missed by a long way, and again he completely mishit it. That's 3 double faults. Scrivano not having to do much to pick up a couple of break point opportunities, break back point opportunities, after losing the last 3 games in succession to make it 3 all. Lots of errors being made by both players on serve. We saw that in the second set yesterday involving Kishi and Perez. Perez eventually winning the match. Fended back by Scrivano, but out. And that leg is affecting him, I reckon. He's got the heavy bandage on, just underneath the thigh, around the kneecap. He runs around and pokes back the forehand. Looked awkward. Again, it was a fault. So, still a break point for Scrivano. Chips back the forehand. And the forehand down the line is a very aggressive one by Perez, and then Scrivano scrambling on the defence forces the backhand long. So he saved the 2 break points to make it juice. He's up 3-2, Eduardo Perez. But those first serves are not going in. I reckon he's at 0 percentage-wise at first serves going in this game. He served 3 double faults as well. Make that 4. Sorry, commentators curse Eduardo. You do it all the time. I'm probably one of the worst culprits. Scrivano has picked up 4 points in this particular game without having to play a shot. They've all been double faults. The first ball's a fault again. Break back point still for Scrivano, the American. Takes it on the forehand, and unfortunately for Perez, he hits it into the base of the net, rolls along the court. Good return by Scrivano, and he breaks back. Disappointing service game by Perez. Had won 3 games on the trot, broken Scrivano twice, and then gives that up. We'll be looking to work hard on getting the serve right for the rest of the match. 3 all now in the first set. Lots of doubles to come after these singles matches. Good serve. And Perez plays it wide, very wide indeed, almost onto the court next door, which is housing the PST4 final in the singles. Luke Nisson and Joel Emmett, 2 Australians. First serve misses into the backhand court. Second serve by Scrivano. Perez whipping forehand cross court. That was in the hitting zone. Great to watch, as I've said many times, the left-handers. Rafa Nadal is one of the best at that. Brilliant to watch him. He was the ultimate tennis warrior, Rafa. He played every point in every tournament, no matter what the tournament was, the same way, as if his whole life depended on it. Good return, Perez. Gets it up on the second grab. A second bounce, Scrivano. Does he get there in time? He does. From the drop shot. But then a magnificent lob from Perez. Scrivano got to the net, forced it in. And then that lob was sensational as he rolled the wrist brilliantly. Perez, one of the shots of the day so far. So 15-30. Scrivano serves Perez. Gets it back aggressively, and then Scrivano does nicely. He's defended nicely on a few occasions with those returns rifling back from Perez early in this match, and then he puts that forehand with a whip cross court. Well played, Daniel Scrivano. 30 all, some high quality tennis here. Good return by Perez. Scrivano with the forehand cross court, scrambling back, backhand Perez. Volley by Scrivano is out. Sort of surprised him a little bit. That ball was coming towards his body and he had to fend it off in a reactionary manner, Scrivano, and put it wide. So another break point opportunity for Perez. Put his nose in front and then come out with a serve. 30-40. Takes it on the forehand, down the middle of the court. Backhand force back. Defensively by Scrivano. Now the forehand cross court. On the move is Perez going down the line with his forehand. But hit it too low and break point saved. Deuce. Luke Misson with an early break in the PST3 final. Scrivano serves. Perez down the middle of the court. Backhand with top spin by Scrivano. Gets it back again. Perez now on the backhand. He goes with beautiful slice. And he'll receive on the forehand again and then goes too long as Scrivano covered the court nicely. Was at both sides of the court there to retrieve. And Perez just overcooked it. Brings up a game point for Scrivano to put his nose in front at 4-3. Game's on serve even though there's been a few breaks. If you understand that. Scrivano serving. Perez just hits the top of the net. They get two bounces. Tries to wrong foot Perez to Scrivano, and then Perez, a magnificent forehand cross court. Gave that everything and produces one of the shots of the match. The advantage if it clips the tape and lands on your side to play the shot with the PST3 is it's two bounces and PST4. Scrivano got to it, but gee, he's been passed a few times by that magnificent forehand, off forehand by Perez. Now they're in a rally again. He digs it out close to the baseline. Scrivano, backhand short by Perez, forehand cross court. Scrivano gets it up on the second bounce out of court. Perez but puts it into the net. And the battle continues. Advantage, longest game of the match so far. Scrivano serves again. Perez cross court with the forehand, but it's called a fault. He's been a bit better with his first serves. We saw 4 double faults in the previous game. Perez, he goes cross court. Scrivano picks it up, off balance, and his forehand is venturing long and over the baseline. So when he can get to that forehand cross court, get it in the corner, Perez, that's when he's at his most dangerous. Takes it on the backhand, that's a good serve down the tee by Scrivano, and he gets the game point opportunity once again. Looking to make it 4-3. Forehand by Perez. Scrivano down the line with his forehand, he can't get it back. Perez on the scramble, that was one of his best shots so far. Again, a bit reactionary, but gee, got plenty of it, and he pumps his fist. And after a real struggle, a real battle, Daniel Scrivano, the number 1 seed from America, has held serve to lead 4-3 in this tight first set in the PST3 final. Last of the singles matches. It's a bit behind the PST4 final on court 4. Luke Misson could be broken back here by Joel Lemon. He won the first set 6-1. He's just saved 1 break point. Earlier today, Alex Webb over Brett Hillier, 6-love, 6-1, PST1. Adam Hills over Finn Beck, Veldman. 3 sets, 3-6, 6-1, 6-2 PST2 final, winning that for the 3rd year in a row. And Nick McCarthy, good to watch that on court number 5, PST5. It was a pro set, first to 8, and he beat Marcus Redu, last year's winner in this tournament. They had 2 players play last year, 4 entered this year, which I know Marita, one of the major organisers of this tournament, heavily involved in adaptive tennis or Oceania para-standing tennis in Sydney. Very big on encouraging the PST5 athletes who've got the least mobility, affected by cerebral palsy, to go out and have a go and play some tennis. And that was a good quality match. Nick McCarthy getting over the line, 8-3. Lots of tennis to be played here, PST3 final on court 5, delayed early by an injury to Scrivano, but he's had it taped up, his leg. Perez down 3-4, had a terrible service game. Got broken. He served 4 double faults. Perez again, goes long. With another double fault. It's love 15, giving Scrivano too many free points at the moment, Perez. Forehand Scrivano, middle of the court. And then Perez goes down the line with his forehand, had Scrivano scrambling and beaten, and misses. So when he does get a first serve in like he did then, Perez, he needs to make it count. Love 30. Serves again, long, plenty of power on it, but misses the service, caught by fairway. Big point this for Scrivano. Swinging serve, gets it back mid-court. Went for that forehand, which he loves, the money shot, Perez, but finds that net again. Lots of swings in momentum in this opening set in the PST3 final. Of which players missing a limb or born without a limb and have cerebral palsy that affects them. They're able to qualify. As well played by Perez then. Oh no! He actually thought that he had that point well and truly won. Scrivano did well to get it back, and he got it on the second bounce, and then he wasn't able to keep it alive, Perez. Made a meal of that, and I think he took it easily, thinking he's got him here, but Scrivano got it back down the line and Perez had an air swing. First ball's a fault, so another break, 5-3. Came out of nowhere, that service break. Scrivano again, into the net. Second serve, serving for the set. Flick back and out. Again, played that a bit close to the body. A bit nonchalant at the moment, Perez. Seems to have lost a bit of confidence. Missed and survived that break. Up 2-1, having won the first set 6-1. On court 4. First serve is a fault by Scrivano. Second serve, again playing way too close to the body, getting himself all caught up. Perez, and fends it into the net. 2 points away from the set here, Scrivano, the American. On the first 2 games, lost the next 3, and is on a bit of a roll here. Scrivano serves. He's been getting the first serves in, and again, another error into the base of the net. 3 set points for Daniel Scrivano, the number 1 seed from the United States of America, playing Eduardo Perez of Chile. That one is a fault. Second serve. Perez, good forehand cross court. Then he defends on the backhand. Scrivano allows it to bounce, and then he tried a little backhand slice, drop shot, and miscued it. And the first of the set points saved by an error from Scrivano. Still 40-15. 2 more opportunities here to close out this opening set for the American, the top seed. And he goes wide with a good serve. Again, at times he's just playing it too close to the body. Perez, and well done Scrivano. Finished off that set nicely after being in a little bit of trouble. Won the last 4 games after giving up 3 in a row, having won the first 2. In a set where momentum certainly shifted constantly. So Scrivano 6-3 over Perez. Remembering though, Perez dropped that first set yesterday in that epic semi-final 6-3. Won the second with numerous breaks in serve. He managed to hold his serve and won it 6-4. And then was able to get over the line in the tie-break, 10-8. 4 match points were saved though by Kishi, who'll play in the doubles a little bit later on. Looking forward to seeing that. With Kai Ryan, the final of the PST3 and PST4 doubles. Plenty of doubles still to come. There's a semi-final. PST 1 and 2, Alex Hunt and Adam Hills, the singles winners today in those particular categories. They're up against the 4th seeded Kemet Amon Lewis, who got whole beaten yesterday in the semi-finals for PST 1, and Tahito Rodriguez. Sorry, in PST 2 he got beaten, and Tahito Rodriguez, one of the up-and-coming good female players in PST 1, who was well beaten by Brett Hillier. And then there's Sam Schwanski and Finn Beck Veldman playing David Murphy and Michael Belgian from Ireland. The winner of that will meet the winner of the other one in the PST doubles final. The doubles final for 3 and 4, Kai Ryan and Kishi against Luke Misson and Daniel Scrivano. So Daniel's still got some work to do after this game. Lots of players doubling up here. Conditions getting warmer. Scrivano winning the first set. 6-3. Misson on top. 3-1 with a break-in serve. Number 1 player, the Australian. Kai Ryan hoping that he desperately can have a win today to, if Luke Misson is successful, and he's heading in that direction at the moment. There's still some tennis to be played. We know what tennis is like. You can have numerous match points and still get beaten. So the second set to start shortly, but they always need to at the end of the first set have a bit of a break. Peter Whitty doing a wonderful job there in watering the court. Generally after a set they need to water the court. It gets dry and dusty. And they've got plenty of people out there just giving the lines a bit of a brush to make them look clearer and tidier. And the draggers are out there as well in regard to just making your courts look smoother, and then the watering at both ends, provided you don't produce puddles on these undercard courts. There's always a bit of a delay for that. So we enjoyed the closing stages of this tournament. We played in great spirit, wonderful community, hoping to be included, and we keep hearing that they're working very hard to be part of the Australian Open. Tony, our tournament referee, has done a brilliant job, is heading to Melbourne Park this week for the deaf and the blind more all abilities players qualifying for that tournament. We know the wheelchair tournament is starting, the juniors as well, so still plenty of tennis, even though of course we're into the second week of the able-bodied singles and doubles and mixed doubles. Fourth round matches today, starting in the tournament. Australia to have 2 players in the fourth round. Madison Ingles didn't have to do anything against the controversial Naomi Osaka, who pulled out with an injury, which we didn't know about. But well done to Maddie, who had that epic match to get over the line when she was well behind in the second round. So she's through to the fourth round. Won't be easy, but she's there. We saw that interesting stat, because a lot of the women's seeds over the years have bowed out very early. The top 8 all made it through to the third round. A few of them have perished since then, though. But Sabalenka and Swiatek are still there. They're probably the favourites, although we know Madison Keys has won the tournament. Coco Gauff's still going pretty well. And Drever's the up-and-coming young player. The American girl Povich beat the 7th seed the other night. So there's some good players. And the men's, it's Alcaraz and Sinner for me in contention, even though Sinner's been battling a bit, and I think if the roof wasn't closed yesterday due to the heat policy, he might have nearly melted away. Second set starting here. Perez serves a fault on the backhand, flicking it back mid-court to Scrivano, and that opened it up for Perez to play his pet shot down the line, or cross-court the forehand, which brings up so many points for him. He wins the first point of the second set. Having lost the first set, 6 games to 3. He did win 3 games in a row to be 3-2 in front, and then dropped the last 4. First ball's wide, called a fault. Second ball from the Chilean is another double fault, which has really plagued him. The match term, and he served 4 double faults, saw him have his serve broken, and Scrivano got on a bit of a run. Juice in the 5th game of the second set. Next door, court 4. Luke Missam on the first 6-1. PST3 final against Joel Emmett. Backhand by Scrivano, guiding it back. Going too hard with the forehand, it sort of landed just outside the service box, and it was set up for the Chilean, who might be just a little bit over anxious with some of his returns at the moment. He puts it wide. 15-30, finds the net again. That first serve has completely deserted him in the last few games. Serve again. And it's another fault. Hit the top of the tape and just landed out. So 2 double faults in this game. And he's down 2 break points. It'll be the perfect start for Scrivano. Just starting to tighten the screws a little bit as we start the second set of this PST3 final. The last of the singles matches likely to be completed before we get into the double semis and final. And he absolutely swings at that. It was in the hitting zone, the serve. And that is the inside out off forehand from Daniel Scrivano. A screamer for a winner. And another break for the American number 1 seed. He leads 1-love in the second set. Chilean mustn't lose confidence. He did fight back after dropping the first set yesterday against Kishi of Japan. Also remembering he was completely all at sea, being 4 games to love down. Luke Misson, 2 games away. Another breaker serve, about to serve at 4-1 in the second set. First ball's a let. Second ball, Scrivano running around the forehand, Perez. Scrivano completely mishits the next ball and it lands out. Thanks again. again to Nathan Ryan for all the hard work, put all the gear together. Been magnificent. Scrivano gets his forehand back, a looping ball, and then plays a great volley. Can he get it on the second grab? He can. Oh, what a shot down the line by Perez. With top spin, the party trick. That's the advantage of having the two bouncers. You can get there. Even though that was a lovely angled volley by Scrivano. Both players played some good tennis in that point. Into the net with Scrivano. Love 30 here for Perez, an opportunity to break back immediately. And that's a double fault. He can ill afford that. And it's 3 break-back points for Eduardo Perez here. Scrivano be disappointed with the way he started this particular set. He's got a final of the doubles to play as well. With Luke missing, it should be a quality match. 3rd and 4th category. He's missing with the first serves now. Perez had a serve, as I say, down at this end, which is the club room's end, and he served 4 double faults, and Scrivano has given it up here. With a very ordinary service game, a double fault. And Perez is back on serve at 1-all. Could this be a case of yesterday emulating itself in the PST3 semi-final between Kishi and Perez? Lots of service breaks by both players, and it wasn't until the 9th game of the set that Perez held serve and then broke Kishi again to take it into a tie break. This is the best of 3 though. Still lots of tennis to be played yet. Can Perez get that first serve right? First ball's a fault. Second serve. Again was too long. Love. Another double fault. Not yet. Thought there was a second serve already. Second serve now. Got to get the serving right. Scrivano down the line with the forehand. He just picks up with a defensive lob by Perez. Scrivano back in the middle of the court. Perez, short forehand, backhand Scrivano. Forehand, Perez is a ripper, rifles it away. Clean, cold winner by Eduardo Perez. Makes it 15-all. Perez serves again. Scrivano deep with the backhand. Perez just gets it back mid-court. Scrivano gets to the net and tips it away beautifully. Lovely angled shot by Daniel Scrivano. That was class and cleverness. And he gets his first point of this 3rd game. 1 game all. Both players have had a break. Early in this second set, Scrivano won the first set 6-3. First ball wide and long. Second serve, into the corner. Scrivano leans at it, keeps it in. There's a looping ball, and then it probably had too much bounce for Perez to control, and he tips it into the net. And 2 more break points. Again, a bit like yesterday, players finding it hard to hold serve early in this second set. Perez serves again, finds the net once more. First serve percentage is quite low by the Chilean. Second serve, Scrivano with a low backhand return. He gets it on the second bounce. Nice slice on the backhand by Perez, who goes down the line as Scrivano came to the net. Scrivano has a cursory glance at it to make sure it landed in. It did. And when he gets that forehand right, it's poetry in motion for Eduardo Perez. He saves one of the break points. 30-40, serving now to the backhand court. Number 1 and number 2 seeds. Scrivano number 1, Perez number 2. The first ball's long. Came back with interest from Scrivano. Perez serving from the far end, which is the Grace Park end. Second serve, Scrivano runs around the forehand deep and he can't get there. Perez Scrivano breaks again and he is in front with a serve to come at 2-1, but was well broken in the previous service game. So don't bank on the fact that he'll hold serve. As Luke Nissen has won again the PST3 final, beating a very gallant opponent, Joel Emmett. Well done to Luke. He's got a doubles final coming up shortly as well, so many players doubling up, excuse the pun, in some cases even tripling up, because we have semi-finals still to be played, had to be held over from yesterday in the doubles, PST1 and 2 semis, and then the final of the PST3 and 4 doubles, Kishi and Kai Ryan up against Luke Nissen and Daniel Scrivano. But that'll be delayed because Scrivano's involved in the last of the singles finals. He's 4 games away from winning it, still a lot of work to be done. That of course is on stream 1 while I take a break on stream 2 where court 4 has the action. And well done to Luke Nissen. So again, winners today, if you've just joined us, welcome to our stream of the Oceania Para Standing Tennis Championships. Alex Webb, 6-love, 6-1 in PST1 over Brett Hillier. Adam Hills, a real battle against Finn Beck Velman. He won it for the 3rd year in a row. The well-known comedian, host of Spicks and Specs. He's won the Edinburgh Festival Comedian of the Year, which is, as I said yesterday, is a bit like, in tennis terms, winning Wimbledon, winning the US Open. He's also starred at Montreal too, another one of the big comedy events around the world for the stand-up comedians. The good ones like Adam Hills. 3-6, 6-1, 6-2 in PST2. Nick McCarthy over Marcus Ledoux, PST5. And a double fault to kick off this game for Scrivano, 8-3. And we've just seen a good win to Luke Nissen over Joel Emmett in PST4 for short-statured competitors. Luke Nissen is a very, very good player. Scrivano having trouble with his first serve here. He's got an early break in this set. And down the line goes Perez. Short second serve in the hitting zone. And those forehand winners keep rolling off his racket. It's just his serve is letting him down. And the first 2 points of this service game going to Perez. Love 30. Some pressure for Scrivano. And this time Perez gives one back as he finds the net. Again, Scrivano was a little bit on the back foot to get across that because Perez was aiming down the line and wasn't successful. 15-30. Forehand Perez, cross court, hits the tape and lands out. Unlucky for him. And gives a wry smile to those watching behind at the club room's end where he's playing at the moment. So 30 all. Scrivano lands it in. Perez gets it back deep. Scrivano the forehand. Perez the forehand. Short. Scrivano with his forehand. It was long. Perez has a break back point to make it 2 all. And he came in behind that shot, Scrivano. His bowling's been okay so far today. He'll serve again, down a break point. Swinging serves a beauty. Nice clutch serve by the American. Makes it juice. Scrivano's first serve is the fault. A juice in the 4th game of the 2nd set. And he produces his 3rd double fault of this game. And it's another break back point opportunity for Eduardo Perez. Giving up a lot of free points on double faults, these two players. Just gets it back, Scrivano, from the very aggressive forehand, and again he gets it back. And Perez on this occasion had that point in his back pocket because he was attacking hard on the forehand, and Scrivano was defending grimly on the baseline, on the backhand, and just getting it back. And the last forehand, the eyes lit up from Perez, but he unfortunately went long on break point. Scrivano serves a fault again. Perez back the middle of the court. Scrivano looping ball, lands in. Perez back forehand. Scrivano flicks it back. Now on the forehand again, looping ball from the American. The Chilean down the middle of the court on his forehand. Scrivano on his forehand, plays close to the body, lands in and taken by Perez, and it hits the net. Just clipped the line by Scrivano, and it brings up a game point as he looks to bank his break to make it 3-1. And we won the first set 6-3. Scrivano serves again. It's called a fault. Players hitting the top of the net regularly, and generally the ball's bouncing out on the serve. Perez cross court with a great forehand, picked up by Scrivano. His defence has been good. Perez with the forehand again. Scrivano on the backhand, flicks it back mid-court. Bouncing ball, takes it on the second bounce. Perez whips it back with a magnificent forehand. Scrivano doing well to cover both sides of the court, side to side. Couldn't control that, back to Juice. He's feeding that forehand a lot, the American, because he's playing defensive tennis. And when Scrivano gets it right, when Perez gets it right, it's wonderful to watch. Juice. Scrivano again. Perez down the line. What a winner that was. Break back point again for the Chilean. Parry and thrust this match. Swinging ball. Mid-court forehand by Perez. Defended by Scrivano. Not moving at all. And Perez had him set up once more. Makes an error into the net. Scrivano game point. Neither player can close this fourth game of the second set out. Scrivano won the first set, as you can see on the screen, 6-3. Good serve. Perez gets it back. Scrivano opens up on the forehand. He went for the off forehand, but a bit low, and the net is his enemy. Break point again for Perez to make it 2-all. Long game this. Swinging serve. Perez gets it back, mishits it. Down the line, Scrivano, that's a very good forehand. Beautiful service swinging. Perez just got connection, just lands over the net, and Scrivano went for the killer blow. It's Juice. Scrivano again getting his first serves in. Perez goes long. Or is it on the line? I didn't see the signal from the chair umpire. No, it was actually in. Just a bit immobile, Scrivano, the back of the court there, and he couldn't get a play on that particular ball. Must have skimmed the line. So break point opportunity for Perez again. Second serve. Good forehand again. Just flicking it back into play in the defence. Takes it on the second bounce, Perez. Scrivano gets it back. Good volley by Perez. Scrivano, is it up? That was a good attempt to get that on the second grab. Or second bounce, I should say. To play the lob. And it just goes wide and long. Perez is having control of a lot of the points here. Scrivano having to scramble and battle to stay in them. Doing a pretty good job. It gets broken back to 2-all. Perez again. Game's back on serve in the second set. He finds the net. Plays that close to the body. Good body serve. Sets up. Second bounce for Perez, and he plays it down the line. It was a great serve, which really set up the point then for the Chilean. Players are waiting for the ball to bounce twice, which they can in PST3, and it's the right way to go. As I said a couple of times, the advantage is those angled volleys. If they can get there in time in the second bounce, it helps them. Perez serves again. Plays it close to the body, fins it back mid-court, Scrivano, and then Perez has had that on a few occasions, having the American in trouble, a little bit immobile at the back of the court, and he nets the forehand, which has also been the shot that's provided him a lot of success. 15-all. Scrivano swings hard, but loosely on that return. 30-15. Perez again. Scrivano went for the forehand, but again just a bit long. Now the first serve missed by the Chilean. Scrivano. Oh, has that got in? It has. Perez picks it up on the second bounce. Then Scrivano back into play. Perez will get there again. Down the line. Can Scrivano get there? No, he can't. Perez has done well to turn defence into attack. We've seen this a few times where you think a player might have it won even with mishits, but the second bounce has helped players, especially Perez, and he's got 2 game points to take the lead in this second set. 40-15. Huge swings of momentum in this match so far. Perez again. Just too long on that first serve. Another double fault, 40-30, another free point for Daniel Scrivano. Had a game in that which turned that set around where Perez produced 4 double faults. A bit long with that first serve again. Game point still for Eduardo Perez. From Chile. Second serve. Getting it back mid-court, Scrivano. Going deep, Perez. Set up by Scrivano again with a defensive return, and then once more the error comes from the racket on the forehand from Perez, even though some of those returns again on the defence from Scrivano are landing mid-court. Needs to make more of that, Perez. Back to Juice. At 2 game points, still some work to do to close out this game. The 5th game of the second set. Perez lost the first set 6-3. Second serve, clips the top of the tape. It's a second serve let. Don't see that a lot. Another double fault. And now it's a break point opportunity for Scrivano. As the serving plagues both players in this second set. The sun is out now, strong as we've had it so far. Perez again missing with that first serve. And double fault, and he gifts that game to Scrivano with a number of double faults late in the game. Actually from the same end where, as I say, the first set turned when he served 4 double faults. So Scrivano, can he take advantage? He hasn't been able to when he's broken Perez regularly. In fact, on 3 occasions. And we're seeing exactly the same as yesterday, a replica of yesterday in that second set where there were 8 service breaks between Kishi and Perez before Perez finally held his 7th and 9th game and broke Kishi again. Starting to practice on court 4 for a double semi-final. That's one of the last of the singles. We'll send all our awards later on. We look forward to that. Alex Webb in the PST1 dropped one game. Adam Hills came from behind against Finbeck Veldman. Hills and Veldman have got some doubles to play. PST2, 3-6, 6-1, 6-2. Nick McCarthy beat Marcus Radu in PST5 in the pro set, 8-3. And Luke Nesson, too good for Joel Emmett, PST4. Just a few minutes to go on court 4. Also winning in straight sets. So can Scrivano take advantage of his break? Again, he hits the net with the first serve. Serves again, runs around on that forehand, but once more, not only has it produced a lot of winners, it's also produced a lot of errors into the net. It's the shot he loves playing, the forehand, Perez. And Scrivano wins the all-important first point. Love, or 15 love. Just lands in, but then his forehand is long, as it was a good return, swinging cross court from Perez. 15 all. So whoever makes the least number of errors and can get more first serves in, seems to be, will win this second set. Good defensive return again by Scrivano. Has been good on the defence. Takes it on the second bounce from the return from Perez, which had top spin on it. And then he was at the back of the court, Perez, and it allowed Scrivano to come in and tip the volley into a vacant court. 30-15. Good return back by Perez. He hit that with interest, and then Scrivano comes to the net and tried to fend the volley off his hip, but couldn't control it. It would have been an unbelievably good shot. The hands were dropping. It's 30 all. Big point this. Scrivano serves again. Down the tee. It's an ace. It's a beauty. There was a limited margin for error. It was right on the line. Perez goes to have a bit of a look now, but he's accepted it, and a game point for Scrivano. Very few aces. That was a perfect time for it. Another one now be even better, but it's a fault. Again, the commentator's curse. Dan Lonergan to just about be the gold medalist. No. Here is the second serve. I think that might have been a double fault, so he goes from chocolates to boiled lollies, and it's back to juice. I think had a few people laugh at that. Gee, first time they've laughed all day. My humour not good. Adam Hills needs to teach me. He's on the backhand, Scrivano. Here's Perez going down the line with some top spin on his forehand and slice. Now he flicks the backhand cross court. Can Scrivano get there? On the second bounce he can, but he puts it into the net. And Perez gives a fist pump to his supporters, and he now has a break point. And a break back point to put games back on serve. There's a doubles match, PST5 on court 3. Go out and have a look at those players in action. Great to watch. Scrivano gets it back into play. Backhand, guided back by Perez. He now has the forehand. He played it deep. Scrivano did well with his forehand, looped it back into play, and saves the break point. We're deuce. So still lots of tennis going on. Courts 5, 4 and 3, and on court 3 is the PST5 doubles. Backhand, guiding it back short from Perez, and then he's wrong-footed with a lovely forehand. He was on that side of the court, cross court from Scrivano, and he's managed to wrong-foot him and produce a lovely winner. He's now got a game point, Scrivano, to bank his break. He leads 3-2, first ball's a fault. Scrivano serves again. Perez with his forehand, dug out by Scrivano short. Perez on the second bounce, hits a beautiful forehand cross court that Scrivano could not move for. Back to Juice. Another long game here. Fended back mid-court. Good swinging serve by Scrivano, and then he had the cross-court to aim at and hit in, which he does. The return was short by Perez, who again has another look at where that serve was. It doesn't really argue too much. Game point again for Scrivano. Just can't close it out at the moment. To be 4-2 up. 2 games away from the title. Fending off his body. Good body serve by Scrivano, did Perez. Now he flicks it back on the forehand, and then his forehand by Perez once more is an error. And he loses that game. Scrivano banks the break. 4-2 in the second set. And Perez has got some work to do to get himself back into this match, having dropped the first set 6-3. An extraordinary set. Second point in, Scrivano slipped over and injured himself, had to get his knee bandaged. Suffered a couple of cuts, I believe. And you thought he might be in a bit of trouble. And then he won a number of games in a row, and then so did Perez. Great return by Scrivano at the start of this game. And Perez couldn't control it, got it at his bootlaces. That was rifled back at 1,000,000 miles an hour by the number 1 seed. And it's love 15. And then he won the last 4 games of the set, Scrivano to win. And this set's turned around a bit too, because both players have battled to hold serve until Scrivano did it for the first time in the most recent game. Second serve, Perez. That's a double fault again. Gee, that serve has been his Achilles heel. Love 30. First ball's a fault once more. Perez again. Got to get those balls in. He does. Scrivano wide with his return. Very loose indeed by the American. So it's 15-30. If he can break here, he's 1 game away. Perez serves. Scrivano got a good serve down the tee and couldn't control his return. Sails way out, almost onto court 4 as they get ready for a doubles semi-final. Perez to serve again. Scrivano back into play. Dug out by Perez, right on the baseline. Scrivano again as they play from the baseline, and unfortunately for Perez once more, he fends one back into the net. It looked like it was tantalisingly trying to slip over his side. Remember, it's 2 bounces. Could have Scrivano got there in time. Didn't matter in the end. Stays on Perez's side. He's got another break point, Scrivano here. And on the forehand, his return, he completely mishit it into the net. Good serve, it was sort of very close to the body. Cramped up the American. Both left-handers here. Juice in PST3. That serve misses. Again, mishitting it, Scrivano. Just gets it in. Perez, Scrivano scrambles hard. Perez with the forehand, looping one down the line. Scrivano will get it back again. Lands mid-court. On the left hand forehand is Perez. Once again he goes. Good rally this. Scrivano on the backhand. Perez on the forehand down the line. Scrivano scrambling. Gets it back with his backhand. Whipping it down the line. Forehand Perez. Scrivano mid-court defensive fend. And he does again with some slice. As does Perez, and Scrivano in the end, too close to the body, loses the rally, and it brings up an ad for Perez. to stay in this set. Good volley, they were both pretty careful. It wasn't a lot of whacking, it was more guiding it, keeping it in play. Scrivano's defended pretty well today. Perez serves, Scrivano back into play. Perez cross court into the net. Another break point for Scrivano. Can he take advantage of this? Those forehand errors and the double faults have let Perez down today. Scrivano, his defensive work has been a treat. First ball misses by Eduardo Perez. Should he drop serve here, Scrivano will come out and serve for the match. Perez again. Scrivano back into play wide. That was a good second serve. If he can get the serves in, Perez, he wins a lot of points. But the problem has been getting those serves in, and we're back to juice. Another long game. We've had a few of these. In fact, Perez has got an advantage here. Learn to count, Daniel. Scrivano nearly mishits that, it lands in. Backhand short by Perez. Scrivano goes into the corner. Perez does well to defend, but then Scrivano comes to the net and he puts away the volley into the corner. Back to juice. Guess I'll read the scores one day. Here's Perez again, serving into the net. Big couple of points for the Chilean. Down 2-4, juice. Another long game, quite a lot of those. Scrivano back into play, Perez the forehand, whipping one. Very short forehand by Scrivano. And on the attack is Perez, but once more, too much on the attack. Just at times, he goes a bit too aggressively. Passionate about his tennis, passionate country. Another break point for Scrivano. He's had a few of those in this game. And gets us look at a second serve, which again was a mishit, the first serve by Perez. Scrivano moves a couple of metres inside the baseline, as you can see on the stream. He goes wide, fended back into play short. Opened up for Perez to go cross court because Scrivano had gone to the other side. He misses it. He misses it. And Scrivano breaks again from all the errors from Perez, and he's so disappointed with himself. And Daniel Scrivano, the number 1 seed from America, will come out in the last of these singles finals and serve for the title in PST3. Now, number 3 seeds, PST1 and 2. Stransky, who's PST1. And Beck Veldman, who's just played a big match against Adam Hills, are playing the Irish combination, David Murphy and Michael Beglin. David Murphy is PST2, Michael Beglin PST1, who went down in a thrilling match yesterday, decided in a match tiebreak in the third set to Hillier, Red Hillier, who was only able to win one game off Alex Webb. He's involved in a double semi very soon with Adam Hills, the winners of the PST1 and PST2 singles titles respectively. So Scrivano, who's also got a doubles match to come up in PST3 and PST4, with Luke Misson, who's just won PST4. Wouldn't that be ironic? If all the winners of the singles were playing together in doubles. And they've got Kai Ryan and Kishi. Kishi PST3, Kai Ryan PST4 in the final of that particular doubles event. So still plenty of doubles on this afternoon. If you're listening on the stream, you want to come down and watch some quality tennis, come to Grace Park, Hawthorn, just behind the old Glen Ferry Oval Hawthorn football ground. Goes wide and long with the first return from Perez, whose errors have let him down badly today. Sometimes that forehand though has been a highlight. On the forehand, he completely mishits it. Perez into the net. There's a forlorn look about him at the moment now, with Scrivano 2 points away from closing out this PST3 singles title. The last of the 5 singles events. Scrivano serves again. Big serve down the middle. Went for it. Didn't miss by much. Second serve is wide. And it's a double fault. He's also had his fair share of double faults. Still some work to do now. 30-15, 2 points away. Remembering he's been playing with a bandage on his leg after slipping over in the second point of the match, which saw an injury delay, then won the next 2 games. Perez, the 3 after that. But then indicating how that set just swung around quickly. Scrivano was able to close out the last 4 and win the set 6-3. Serves now to the forehand. It was low, but he got it over the net by Perez. And then a beautiful forehand by Scrivano, and he was going in after it as Perez was going from one side of the court to the other, but wasn't able to get there and control it. So it brings up 2 match points for Daniel Scrivano of America, the number 1 seed, against Perez, the number 2 seed. First ball's into the net. Perez gets a look at a second serve. Scrivano on match point. Serves again. Perez back into play. Scrivano with his forehand. Whips the back, as does Perez. Nice little defensive backhand. On the backhand, Perez. Forehand, Scrivano, middle of the court. Perez with his forehand. Scrivano with his forehand. They hit it hard, and Perez hits it below the net. And another error. Scrivano magnificent. He wins it. PST3 title to Daniel Scrivano, the number 1 seed from the United States of America, over the number 2 seed, Eduardo Perez. And what a performance it was. He's won 6-3, 6-2. So our 5 singles winners. And what's been a great day's tennis so far, with some doubles still to come. Were Alex Webb, 6-love, 6-1 in PST1. Dropped just 1 game. He dropped just 2 yesterday, the New Zealander. Adam Hill's a battle in PST2, has won it for the 3rd year in a row. 3-6, 6-1, 6-2. He's beaten Finn, Beck, Veldman. Nick McCarthy won PST5, 8-3, and there's a PST5 doubles match on court 3 at the moment, the first ever PST doubles. All PST5. It'd be great to go and have a look at that. Luke Misson 6-1, 6-2 over Joel Emmett, PST4. And Daniel, after getting injured early, he recovered nicely. He has managed to win over Eduardo Perez, and that is a great result for Daniel Scrivano, who's going to play a doubles final a little bit later on as well. Could win 2 titles before we finish today. Daniel Scrivano. It was an interesting match, lots of errors, especially double faults from both players, specifically Perez. But Scrivano defended, and it was all about keeping the ball in play more and producing less errors, and he managed to do that. 6-3, 6-2 over Perez. We had a big game yesterday, big match yesterday, which might have affected him in the heat and probably affected Brett Hillier in the heat as well. Now, we've got some doubles on, and we'll endeavour to keep an eye on that. We'll be back to call a doubles match on court 5. Yesterday, over one of the favourites, Lewis, in the semi-finals of PST2. They're the number 2 seeds. In fact, they're the number 3 seeds. In fact, they play the number 2 seeds, an all-Irish combination of Daniel Murphy and Michael Beglin, who of course was beaten yesterday by Brett Hillier in a thrilling match in the singles in PST1. And later on today, we've got another PST1 and PS2 semi-final encounter. The winners of the singles in PST1 and PST2 combining together, Alex Webb and Adam Hills. And they will take on Kemet Amon Lewis, who got beaten yesterday in PST2, and Talia Rodriguez, who was well beaten by Brett Hillier in PST1. So we'll be back for that match very shortly. We've still got, of course, the final in the doubles, which was to be played yesterday, but it was too hot. It was put back to today. PST3, PST4. Nathan Ryan next to me is a bit nervous about that. His son Kai combining with Kishi. Kishi from PST3, Kai, of course, a PST4 participant. And they're up against Luke Misson, who's just won the singles title in PST4, with Daniel Scrivano, who's just won the singles event in PST3. So we look forward to that doubles match as well. So there's still plenty of tennis to go. Don't forget, you can watch all the tennis on the stream. Stream 1 is where most of the commentary is for myself today. We'll try and get some guests too a little bit later on. A lot of the players, of course, playing at the moment. We're on court 5, and for stream 2, that is court 4, and that has got the doubles match at the moment between Shroudsky and also Beck Veldman, the number 2 seeds against the All Irish Affair number 3 seed semi-final, PST1 and PST2, and that, of course, is Dan Murphy and Michael Becklin. Back with more tennis shortly.